Okay, I think we're live. I think we're live. All right, hey guys, welcome to Starting 101. I'm JP from JP Adams Online, and this is basically a journey of me documenting the process of taking all the products that I created, books I wrote, and everything else, and trying to build a business around it. And I'm going to be going live for the next 101 episodes and covering the entire journey. So this is basically for you guys to follow along. So today, reason to stick around is we're talking making progress on your big goals without having to have it all figured out. Um, so essentially, if you guys have been following along with any of the previous episodes, one of the things that, a couple of episodes ago, I talked about, what's my goals around this and kind of like broke down the numbers and went through the exact business plan that I'm planning to follow. And, you know, after that, it kind of like it made it real. And I think that's what happens with any big goal, right? Is like as soon as you start, then once you get to that point where the numbers are out there and you've shared it with people, and then it makes it real and you can kind of like start to get crushed under the weight of that goal. So I think today I wanted to kind of talk about how to manage that process essentially, because I think that one of the things that happens, you think of New Year's resolutions or something like that, where people set some big goals for themselves, losing weight or whatever it is, something they haven't done before, which means they don't have it all figured out and all the steps are not really clear to them. So because of that, it's kind of like it looks like this like insurmountable thing, like there's a grand canyon between you and where you want to be. So how do you then bridge that? And so one of the things that I did, and I think I shared these and I shared the numbers as well, was that I broke down all of my goals into all the specifics. So I'm trying to see if I can actually like show this. I doubt it'll actually show up very clearly, but it's like I have it and I sit there and it's like focus on what matters. Target 30 sales per day. That's what that says. And I kind of like look at that every day. And it's like if I scroll one page to the right, then there's like all my apps on it, but my main page has that. So anytime I open my phone, I see it. And so the thing is, this goal, I basically stretched it out to like 20 years. Like I'm taking like long-term vision, and I'm not a like long future thinker kind of person. I'm a what do we need to get done? Let's get it done right now. What do we have on hand? What can we do to make it happen? But when you take a look at, something like that where it's like 20 years out, I have this at 12 million per year, right? That's the annual like recurring revenue at $12 million per year. Now, if I'm being completely honest, and hopefully I'm not being like naively optimistic, but I think I'm going to beat that. Like I'm positive. Like inside of me, like I know it's small, excuse me, but I know for a fact that I wanted to make sure that I said something that for me was like nice and round. So $1 million a month seems like a crazy number if I were to try to get it next year. But 20 years out, that is totally, totally doable. Looking at what I've been able to do, if you look at what I've been able to do in the last 20 years, I should be able to do $1 million a month in the next 20. So that's the first thing is I kind of like I gave myself enough runway. But then the next thing that I did is I walked it back. Like I went through this already in a previous episode. So it's like there's something more at the end of this. So there's more coming beyond just like breaking down the numbers and breaking down your goals and walking it back. But it's like, okay, so you go from 12 million a year to 3 million a year in 5 years. All right, 5 years, 3 million feels a little bit more real, feels a little bit more scary. Come back again to 1 year and it's like 600K in 1 year. Okay, now it's getting tough now, right? And then it's like, okay, so that means 50K per month is really that's the idea. 50K per month in 1 year. But that's the goal. The goal is to make 50K per month in 1 year. It's not that I have to make 50K per month this year, even though that would be like a good target to shoot for. And that's aiming like super high because I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't have it figured out yet. But then once you break it down to like the daily rates here and you're like, okay, cool, like $1,400 a day, essentially. That's where it's at. Now it starts to break down into, if you sell 10 units at $147, if you sell 31 units at $47, or 22 units at $67. Now, that's still at numbers. I can't control the numbers. I can't control any of those things. So now here's where you get to the next stage of like actually making progress on big goals when you don't have it all figured out. So what are the things that I have to do so that if I do those things consistently, I am more likely to ensure that I can sell 1, 2, 3 to 10 units a day? That's the question, right? So it's like to make progress on any big goal, it's like I can't control 12 million. I can't control $147. I can't control $47. I can't control where any of that is going to come from. The only thing I can control is what am I going to do so that I know that I've done my part in making sure that that can happen. That's the progress question. And preferably, if it's something where I can say, like, what can I do every day to make sure, or what can I do every week, or what can I do every hour to make sure that if I do these things, then I have done everything that I can do to make sure that those 10 sales happen. That's the key progress question. Because if you look at it like where this is at right now, it's like, okay, so first step, I have to put up some kind of sales page. Well, first of all, I got something to sell, which I do. I think I have more than enough to sell. I just have to like decide which one is going to be the first one. So that's fine. I have to then put up a sales page. Okay. Have to put up an ad. Okay. And I have to then, kick off the ad. So if you look at that, it's basically the actual activities that I have to do is I have to write, I have to publish, and I have to put it out there. That's really it. It's like kind of like write, publish, and share. Write, publish, and share. So write a sales page, write an ad, publish that ad, and well, Facebook will share it. So write, publish, and share. That is literally it for me. So where I'm at this point is I now know what I have to do every day, which is every single day I have to write, I have to publish, and I have to share. And so I can now track, how effective is the things that I'm writing, meaning is it converting? Is it bringing in traffic? Is the traffic turning into sales? Like those things I can measure, I can adjust, I can try to write better, but ultimately the activity that I will be doing is writing, publishing, and sharing. And so now I got to figure out how much do I have to write every day? How much do I have to publish every day? And I think it doesn't have to be that much. But if it did, well, I think that's okay too. Like if you look at, me doing these live sessions every day, it's kind of like, all right, I didn't want to commit to doing one every single day, but I committed to doing at least three a week. Now I could do 5, I could do 7, I could do 1, I could do more than one a day, but I have to do at least 3 a week. Like that's what I'm committing to. Like that's the rate that I'm showing up at. So if you look at that, I would say any big goal that you have, not only do you have to like give yourself enough time, you have to walk your way backwards and break it down into steps and basically say, what are the steps that you're going to need to meet, so, you know, if I'm trying to think, if someone wanted to make $200,000 a year at their job, well, okay, so how long are you going to give yourself to reach that goal? What needs to happen, at the halfway mark? What needs to happen halfway from there? What needs to happen halfway from there? And then you can just like adjust. But the thing is, people say set goals that are so big that they scare you. Yes, but they shouldn't be so unrealistic that they demoralize you, right? The thing is, like, every goal that I set, and there's a saying where it's like basically you wouldn't set the goal if it wasn't within you to achieve it in the first place. But at the same time, you don't need to know the how, but you do need to see a path where it is real enough for you to not completely give up, but big enough for it to stretch. That's the thing. That's why they say stretch goals, right? It has to be big enough for it to stretch you, but it shouldn't be so insurmountable that you've given up before you even started. So, people say don't share your goals out loud and so on. It's like, it doesn't matter if I share my goals or not. Like, the thing that I'm sharing is I have to write, I have to publish, and I have to share. That is the thing that I need people to hold me accountable for. If I write offers, publish them, and share them, the rest of it will take care of itself. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't control that. So I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to focus on the part that I can do, right? You know, Same deal goes with fitness goals, money goals, whatever. It's like, what do you do? How do you show up every day so that at the bottom of your heart that you've done all the things that you can do to make sure that that thing comes up? And it's not enough to be like, yeah, I keep showing up and doing the same thing. You have to see if it's working, adjust, and check and everything else. And I know I'm totally harping on this today. A little bit for me, a little bit for you. But figure out what your goal is, figure out what the numbers are, break it down all the way to something you can get daily, and then figure out how you have to show up to make sure that you're hitting the day marks or the week marks or the month marks. Because once you do those things, the rest of it will take care of itself. And if it doesn't, then adjust it. And as you get more information, then you can even adjust your goals. That's okay too. But, you know, that's really it for this episode of Starting 101. You can follow me on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube if you want to see these when they come on. And thank you for tuning in, spending a little bit of time with me. I hope you guys all have a goal that you're working towards. The year is still fresh. The summer seemed like it disappeared, but the year's still going. You still have enough time to achieve something this year. You still have enough time to achieve something today. You still have enough time to achieve something this week. So think about it. What's your goal? Go for it. All right. Thank you. Bye.